Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to November 10th, ContribEx bi-weekly meeting. I'll be your host today, Bob Killen, aka Mr. Bobby Tables, across all the things, and I'm a co-chair for SIG Contributor Experience. As a general reminder for folks, these meetings are recorded and will be posted to the internet sometime later today. So please be excellent to each other. As a general reminder, we abide by the safe code of conduct. With that, there's a bunch of new people on the line. So let's go ahead and do intros, and we'll play the hot potato game. So essentially just call on someone else in chat. And I will start it off with Nigel.
Hey y'all, my name's Nigel. I'm a community manager at VMware. I've been coming to these for a couple of months now. Excited to be here. I will pass it to Chris.
Hey y'all, I'm Chris Short. Used to work at Red Hat, now I work at AWS. Been an upstream contributor for a few years now, and just happy to be here with y'all. I'll toss it over to Josh.
Hey there, Josh Burkus, Red Hat, OSPO. Do a bunch of things with ContribEx and elsewhere. And Sandipan, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Maybe some audio issues.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay, how about Perniswar?
Yeah, hello. I'm sorry I can't switch on my video because there's some internet issues, but hey, I'm Purneshwar, and I've been a part of this community for the last 3 months, and I've been like contributing to the SIG architecture domain and the SIG ContribEx domain. Like I'm pretty much involved in that. And I'm recently been a part of the contributors celebrations team, and happy to be a part here and glad to attend this meeting.
Welcome. Can you call on someone else?
Yeah, passing on to Devrata, I guess.
Yeah, hi. So I'm Devbrata. I am a student in your final semester. So yeah, I've been part of this community since this year. Yeah, started in 2021 when I got the LFX mentorship. Since then, I've been contributing to SIG ContribEx and SIG Node. Yeah, glad to be here.
Can you pick someone else to call on?
I go for Paris.
Hello, everyone. I'm Paris. I work at Apple and I sit on the steering committee and I do a lot of things with community. Kendall.
I am Kendall Nelson. I work for the Open Infrastructure Foundation. I've been in Kubernetes or been involved in Kubernetes for like 3 years now. And also the OpenStack community, and I'm kind of like the bridge between those two open source communities, making sure they integrate and collaborate, that sort of thing. So, Ray.
Hello, I'm Ray. I work with SUSE by way of Rancher Labs. I'm the current 1.23 release lead. I'm also a project owner for SIG Security, also contributor to SIG Docs. Yeah, and I'm also helping out with the contributor celebration and been on some ContribEx marketing meetings. This first time in this meeting. It's Atharva.
Hello, y'all. My name is Atharva. I'm an undergrad. It's been around 3 to 4 months, I guess, contributing to Kubernetes. And this is my first ContribEx meeting. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
Welcome.
Anyone's remaining?
Hi.
Hi, I'm Bharat Krishna. I'm an undergrad, second year. I'm new to this community, like learning to do many things, like exploring all. Glad to be here.
Welcome. Cindepan, sorry. Go for it.
Yeah, hi, I'm Pranshu. I'm a pre-final year student and I have been a part of this community since about a month, and I have been involved with the Meet Our Contributor series, and I have worked with a few documentations, and this is my first time in this meet.
Welcome. Okay, now go for it. Cindepan, so I apologize if I butcher your name. No audio come through. It's okay. No worries, it happens. Like Chris and I were just sorting through audio issues before the call. So with intros out of the way, let's go ahead and get right into our regular recurring business. Events, community meeting. Laura mentioned in chat that she was not going to be able to make it to today's meeting, but I believe everything on that one is still blocked until the mailing lists issues are sorted out. Once that's done, we will then kick that back up again. Anyone have any questions regarding the community meeting? Okay, contributor summit / celebrations. So at this point in time, Allison is actually going to have to step away from running the celebration. So I will be stepping up to sort of take her place and take point on leading that. I have not caught up on everything that she has, done so far, but I might start pinging people later today or, later this week, just to get an idea of things. The plan is still to use Discord, and essentially, use what we learned last year to, make it smoother and run easier this time around. But we will hopefully get the site and everything for that up relatively soon. Any sort of questions, thoughts, comments on that one?
I'm assuming the scope will be a little bit tighter this year, right? Like we're not going to have things to ship, all that fun stuff, right?
Yeah, so we're still going to do the bake off. Cool. Josh, I know you wanted to do an art thing too.
Yeah, so I mean, both of those will be on my plate for organizing. There will be other people involved, but put my name down in the lead for that. We're just getting sort of the people involved together for those.
Okay. And Ray, I think you were helping with the awards.
Yeah, helping out the awards with
Cody,
Cody and Mars and Praneswar.
Okay. Yeah. I'm curious, was there an idea for what to actually give out as the award yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah, so we should figure that out. But that's part of the. So I'm actually so people know about this related tangentially is I'm starting an artist group for Kubernetes because a lot of people have spoken up who are visual artists who are involved in the Kubernetes ecosystem. So there's a new Slack channel, Crafternetes, that we'll be using. But part of the idea was that it gives us a pool of people that we can ask for things like, hey, can you design an award plaque? Because historically, those requests have all kind of come to two people. which is silly if we have this whole group of people who could be, you know, alternately taking different things. So I'll put that on our list of things to discuss as soon as everybody joins the Slack channel. And Ray, don't let me forget about it, because with the supply chain situation, we actually want to work with the CNCF to actually have that lined up sooner rather than later, although the awards have to be personalized.
Last year for the awards took till June to get completely sent out. Oddly enough, it was the hardest to send to Canada.
Yes, I have noticed that. And shipping stuff to Canada from here, it's a nightmare.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with Valencia potentially actually being more of a thing. We might also be able to punt giving awards away to people in person at that, but we'll see.
Oh, by the way, I think DevOps Party Games is willing to do a Kubernetes contributor only thing if we wanted to add that to the list of things to do.
Nice. Well. Yeah, definitely. They did one last year and it went over really well.
Yeah. So, all right, that's done as well. So we'll do trivia and
there's actually, so Jackbox Games lets you create a personal questions. So having besides the DevOps Party Games ones itself, it'd be great just to have like a list of ones that people can import and run. But I also don't want to turn this meeting necessarily into like the contributor celebration meeting.
No. Go ahead.
So in general, is there any other sort of questions, comments, or people that want to potentially help out, preferably people with Discord experience with the celebration? If so, there's a cool. A meeting invite went out, I think on Monday for the celebration meetings. And we will sort of, use that as our main touch point. And thank you, Nigel. On to the steering election. I think this is all retro items. Josh?
Yeah, so steering election is over. Yay! And hopefully this will be the last steering election I will administer personally. Our retro is still being scheduled because we have an election team that has a fairly wide spread of time zones, but will probably be next Thursday. Once that's scheduled, we'll share it with steering. I don't know that anybody else really cares. There's a whole lot of detail, although of course, if somebody was interested in working on Electo in our election system, I would very much welcome it, because one of the things that came out of this was a technical to-do list of both features we want and things that we want to fix that didn't interfere with having a valid election, but really ought to be fixed in the platform. So.
One other thing, actually, before I forget, this is for the retro, but this is mostly just to get it out of my head. Don wrote a script that will scrape GitHub and commits to get emails of the voters. So you can basically BCC send the voters.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, actually, for everybody, let me go ahead and just share the link to the retro for anyone who has items. And if you could actually add that to the item that already exists that says email blast. There we are, shared in chat. I'll add it to the notes in a minute.
Okay.
I mean, so we have a whole long list, most of which is documentation, because we haven't really documented the election committee as a set of roles like we have for other teams. And we need to finish out this election by doing that, because there actually are de facto rules. They're just not very written down.
Thank you, Josh. And I'll drop my other notes into that doc too. Anyone have any questions regarding steering election? Questions, comments? How about events in general? Okay. Mentoring, meet our contributors. Paris.
Blocked on the same thing that that community meetings blocked on. What do we need there to get moving again?
Time.
Is there anybody that can do it for us that's not like you or Aaron?
Really, it's any moderators of the Kubernetes dev mailing list could theoretically like start it. Or anyone with admin access to the current Kubernetes dev mailing list.
Okay, so I can do this today, technically.
You can migrate the list, cut a PR to keats.io to create the group. But it's that and just like all the comms and organizing the timeline for that.
I think I could help out with this.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like we're blocked on several things and we should get this unblocked.
Yeah, and we were talking about starting this effort after KubeCon and the election.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now after the election.
Now that things have died down a little bit.
Yeah, the big effort there that's going to be a ContribEx wide effort is getting everybody to change the permissions on their documents. There's an awful lot of documents that are shared with or even owned by the current group. And that's just going to be a matter of repeatedly blasting out to every single SIG.
All right.
There's no way we can find all of those documents.
Let me do a draft. What I'm going to do then is I'm going to do like a made up draft timeline and get y'all to review it. And one of those timeline bits will be things like we should probably first then tell the leads that this is happening so that they can be the heads up with the docs. And then the second thing is we should then get an email out to like KDev with a heads up that this is happening. And then do the thing and then, you know, continue on. So I'll do a fake timeline, put it in an issue.
What I would do too is just make sure that we do not do it before, like it should happen after this final release.
Yep. Okay. KDev, do the work after this release. What's the date that this releases anyway? I think Ray's on
December 7.
Ray's like, I got that tattoo.
December 7.
All right. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I don't want to take up any more time, so I'll help out with that.
Bob, did you say not to do it after this release or do it before this?
Do it after this release.
Okay.
Sorry.
Gotcha.
We don't want to mess up anyone sending comms or anyone getting notifications regarding the release. So it's the same, like, you know, why at this point, we'll probably want it doing the easy CLA migration and everything else after the actual release. Okay. Any other sort of questions regarding KDev migration or, you know, meet our contributors?
But yeah, once we're unblocked there, then I feel like we're ready to go because we have a ton of people who said that they're willing to host. And we've got what we need from, I think, the like YouTube stuff as far as streaming. So I feel like we're ready to go. So once we get that, we'll get Jonesed up again for meet our contributors.
is there any Git issue on the KDev migration? I believe there is one in K community. It might also be buried, actually not in as its own issue, but part of the community mailing.
I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Arno. Yep, there it is. Proposal, migrate KDev to manage Kubernetes. There we go. And Paris, you commented on September 14th regarding creating a timeline. Time is always the hard part. Okay. If someone wouldn't mind just dropping that link in the notes, that would be super awesome. Thank you. Next is Playground, GSOC, Outreachy, and like our standard LFX mentorship programs. I don't see Ehor on the line. So does anyone, I don't think anyone else has any updates on those. Okay, so new contributor workshop. I actually have an update on this. The contract, everything's been done for hiring the tech writers. They should hopefully, the PO has been cut. Things should hopefully start soon with them being able to produce content for the new contributor workshop, as well as updating the contributor guide. Once the invoice and some of the other stuff is done, we'll be able to engage a bit more with them directly. Does anyone have any questions, comments regarding mentoring? Okay. We'll kick over to community management. And I put something in there for YouTube admins. I think I have been the only one that's actually been in there and updating videos, and I stopped for a little bit, and now there's a huge backlog of videos. So we need to think about, you know, spreading the load there. I think Paris, you had some comments.
Yeah, I have 4 folks that are ready to go and ready to be trained on it. But I also haven't heard from the current admins as to whether or not they were cool with giving up the access. And also I haven't heard from current admins about like getting together so we can get a roadmap, because we have so much work to do with YouTube. It's probably, I feel like, one of the most on fire things that we have. So, and it's a dependency for so many other things here. So we need to get the group together to talk about this. And I know the thing is we have so many part-time admins. I mean, in part-time meaning like somebody's going to do X event. I feel like we all need to like take more of a burden and share the load a little bit more. And also I really think we need to think about the automation pieces so that we don't have to sit here and do this manual garbage anymore. So like, I feel like we have enough people though to figure all that stuff out.
The one problem with the manual garbage is like, even if we do solve the importing of the videos, there's still the actual publishing of flipping them over and actually getting them with the correct date and correct name for each of those.
Yeah.
And that's the part that honestly takes the longest.
I'm literally doing that right now for the GitOps working group, getting all their meetings into YouTube. And it is such a challenge, right? Because you download them from Zoom and it's literally X meeting title and then this huge timestamp after it and no more context other than that. And yeah, that's hard.
They're essentially, yeah, they're uploaded to YouTube. Some of them are uploaded to YouTube automatically the same way. But like, unless all the, oh, we still have to add the date. So that might be automatable, but like all the meetings that would have to come in would have to like all the SIG leads or whoever's running the meetings have to make sure that all their Zoom meetings are named correctly for their thing.
So I have a suggestion here. Can we automate, is it theoretically possible for us to automate sort of quick and dirty uploading without anything being labeled correctly?
Yes.
Because that could actually put us in a workflow where videos go up automatically, you
And
know,
just go through
with the
YouTube.
wrong name and no categorization.
Mhm.
And then that puts us in a position where we could actually use a larger pool of people, you know, and have a permanent issue posted of just go through the YouTube queue and label things.
That's kind of where we were going.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because the thing is, we can have a stronger pipeline from Google Drive to YouTube with Zoom, but we need all of that stuff scripted. So like we can have
Oh God.
we can have the stronger pipeline because Google talks to Google. So because right now we were using Splane, which is a third party that does not have that strong of a connection. So we have both a pipeline issue as well as the human issue. So that's kind of where, that's why I wanted to at least try to get us to like an engineering state where we had a good, strong pipeline. And then we needed to figure out the human piece.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this is a challenge for literally everyone. So that's why I think it would also be very useful from like a larger community standpoint. So, but anyway, I need to hear from the admins if everybody's okay with me onboarding for mentees. All right. I have Chris Shore. I know Bob said Bob was good. All right. That's good enough for me.
I don't even
I'd be
think you need
happy.
to ask, to be honest with you.
All right.
I'd be happy to be able to be removed from there eventually.
Yeah. Yes. Same. So that's why I want to yes, the end goal here is for me, Bob, and I think there's even some others in there who want to be rotated out, to finally rotate out. But this is it's a weird thing because I feel like YouTube, like if you hit the delete button, some of that stuff's gone forever and
ever.
And it gets weird. So you have to like, you know, it's a trusted role. And I think that's been the hardest part.
The other thing is like sometimes sensitive stuff gets posted up there, not necessarily intentionally, but it was one of the reasons why at least we originally had like, you know, videos will not be posted for at least 24 hours to give people a chance to like, you know, contact us to, you know, sanitize or remove parts of videos. I think for me personally, I've had to do that probably about a dozen times since I've been a YouTube admin. It's not a whole lot, but it's still, again, there's, you know, adds more to the whole trusted role aspect of it.
I kind of have a dream where YouTube is owned by contributor comms and it's like treated as like programmatic thing, kind of like cloud native TV. I kind of like I think that would be awesome. But like I feel like we should get it into a state where we don't hand them, you know,
Steaming pile.
a poo. And yes, I feel like we need to get it into a better state. And then I feel like long-term vision, it would be cool if we could treat it as like, you know, sort of a programmatic content program or something. I think that would be pretty cool. I saw Kazlan go, no, don't give me that garbage right now.
So I think the biggest thing for the marketing team is like, we need folks, right? Like we're kind of top heavy as far as leadership goes, and we need more people to like actually help us roll up sleeves and get hands dirty kind of thing. So
well, I think you need to do a meta campaign on KDev of what you all need.
And I would say set up some kind of a mentoring thing, a shadow thing, because I'll tell you at the mentoring meeting every week, we have people showing up at the mentoring meeting because they are looking for mentee opportunities. And, you know, and one of the things we've been discussing with the whole release team thing is the reason why we have 150 people apply to the release team is it's our only published, well-defined shadow program.
This is, they
So-
also have a shadow program though, Josh. The thing is,
Yeah.
Okay.
we don't have like an application process and stuff like that. I think that was where we left off with,
Mhm.
Okay.
with the group is getting them an application process.
Okay. Well, so let's
Yeah.
set up an application process,
100%. Let's do it.
and you will get a bunch of people. Some of the people might not be suitable, but some of them will.
I think we do have a lot of new folks who are joining who are begging for a shadow process.
Yes.
Once we can define what we need from them, I think we'll have the people
Right.
and can teach them how to do it. These are the challenges.
For folks that are curious on this call, that meeting is Friday at 11 Eastern. Yes.
Yep, 11 Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, any more thoughts, questions, comments regarding YouTube admins and, you know, that entire sphere of things?
Sorry, what's
Okay.
the ask?
I was just asking if anyone had any more questions, comments regarding YouTube admins or anything like that. And YouTube admin responsibilities.
I'm gonna get a group DM with us together too, because I have a bunch of questions to ask regarding like YouTube studio stuff. So I'm gonna get into some technical weeds here with y'all in a minute in a DM.
Okay.
Oh, can't wait.
I can help if there's need for that. I do it for, you know, the community meetings and stuff that I run for the project that I'm on. So if y'all need extra help, you know.
Do you have an audit?
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Bring them skills.
We honestly thought you would never ask. It's like
We will happily assign work.
yeah. So
Sounds
yeah, if anybody on the call does have YouTube experience, though, I know we definitely don't need we have enough mentees right now, but if you definitely have experience, please reach out. And if you're listening to this right now as well, please reach out to us.
Especially if you have automation experience around that.
I don't yet, but after dealing with this for a little while, I desperately want to, and this will give me
Right.
See, that's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
it's a huge
See.
Same thing. Yeah. I got to do it for the GitOps working group too. So
I
And
know a
there's
bunch
a
of
way.
CNCF projects themselves that the CNCF itself and all those projects could use it too.
mhm.
There is a way. It's just a journey.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a journey, but getting there will be lots of rewards at the end of said journey. So
stars on GitHub.
Yeah, seriously. Like when I was live streaming every day, I wanted an if this then that or a Zapier for streaming, right? Like Nitro, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, okay, I recorded this thing. I just want it to go over here and over here now. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye. You know, like we could totally do something like that.
Excuse me. Okay. Well, that unless anyone else has any other comments regarding YouTube or community management in general, we'll kick it off.
What's the new contributor workshop about?
So the new contributor workshop was something we previously did alongside our in-person events, but we've been turning it into an online course instead, and work on that has started a bit, but we will actually have some tech writers that will be helping with that soon.
Okay.
Okay. That I will kick things over. I don't have any updates on dev stats, so I'm just going to delete that line. Gaslight Marketing. We started talking about this a little bit earlier.
I don't know what's been covered already since I came in late, but
Nothing yet, really.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
just the talking about the marketing team.
Oh, yeah. So either me or Chris could cover this, but Matt is stepping out of his role, and we're revamping our roles to have kind of a leadership council on the sub project. So we'll be working with the group in our next meeting to discuss that. Chris and myself and what did we decide? Jason and Kunal, I think, will be the council. So we've got a PR in. Well, Matt has a PR in to update the roles in our GitHub repo to define what they are and kind of what that looks like. And then from there, our goal was to create some form of shadowing program. We were just talking about that. Anything you want to add, Chris?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of work on the discoverability of the contributor site, case.dev. Both Ray and myself have thrown a few PRs at the kubernetes.io site to link over to kubernetes.dev. So hopefully that'll boost ourselves up in the ranking. Still trying to get access to Search Console. Bob, if you can help me there, that would be awesome.
I will see what I can do.
You can delegate, but I don't know how much. I don't know if you can like RBAC it. Like it's all or nothing, I think.
I'm just trying. I think it's under contributors at, which is the main thing.
Oh God. Okay. Well, no, like, well, we can talk offline. Yeah. I did it between two of my personal accounts. It worked okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I'll DM you a link.
Okay. The follow-up action item.
Yeah.
Thank you, Josh, and thank you, Ray, for doing the first half of the notes. Any other sort of marketing questions at this point?
I know there's one more thing we discussed in our meeting that's in the open discussion, but we'll get there.
Okay. With that, we can kick it over to contributor documentation. And a lot of this we kind of touched on earlier. Tech writers are around. They'll be starting soon. Working on the SEO for the contributor site. So I don't necessarily know if there's too much to talk about here. Did anyone else have any contributor docs focused items to talk about? Okay. GitHub Management. Big thing is easy CLA still. That's largely been blocked on me, but the notice will be going out. That, and I also mixed up dates for a deadline, so I will be sending that out probably later today to enable in non-blocking mode org-wide, and then with the intent of rolling out at this point probably after the 1.23 release, essentially flipping the switch. Does anyone else? Oh, sorry.
As the note taker, I'm going to ask some people to jump out of the note stock simply because it's slowed down to the point where I can't actually take notes.
Ew. Gone.
Okay. It looks like there are a couple of links and things like dropped in chat.
Okay. Well, actually, I had a question about EasyCLA because there were also some technical issues with it. Have those been resolved?
As far as I know, they have largely been resolved. The big thing is we will not be doing a cut over where we will have both easy CLA and the old system like enabled, so that way both contexts would be supported. Essentially, it's just be too likely for like a race condition, from what I recall, from looking at the PR for it to happen. So essentially, it's just going to be, delete CLA Linux Foundation, replace with easy CLA on an explicit date. And then the other technical limitations are on the LF side with regard to access to who can actually do some changes and enable it for things. Right now, I'm the only one, actually, no, me and Aaron are the only ones with that capability. They are working on solving that one, though. So did that sort of cover it for easy CLA? Okay. It looks like there's a couple things dropped in chat. Vara?
Yeah. So I wanted to work on this automation. Is there anything I can help with? Because I really want to work at least for automating some things. I would need some help with some automation. So can anyone tell me whom I can approach with or have a little meeting with, so I can go up with this, because it's been hanging around for a while. This issue has been hanging around. So yeah.
That one, GitHub was supposedly going to be working on some automation to help with that. But that has sort of been rolled into their new GitHub issues thing, / like new project boards thing. But sadly, most of the automation that we had wanted is sort of rather far in the roadmap at this point. Yeah. They do have an API. There was some conversations that happened in Github Management. I think excuse me, and enhancements to here we go, for some of the current state of the replacement for project boards. And the big thing is I don't know if we want to focus on automating the project boards or focus on automating essentially what's going to be coming. Just because I know that they eventually plan to deprecate the current project boards. So it might be, I'm sorry.
No, go on. Yeah.
So even though it might be work that is removed later, it still might be better to work on the sort of the new version that we're going with, the new version that they're rolling out, if that makes sense. What do other people think?
Yes.
So yeah, if there is anything related to automation, I would like to work on it. Yeah. If this is not the thing I can do now, but if there's anything that needs automation and you need someone to help, or maybe I can help with, yeah. So if there's anything, just let me know.
Some of the other big ones, and the Zoom YouTube thing we were talking about earlier, that'd be like a big one. There is two open PRs, one in Kubernetes org from Nabarun on some GitHub org membership automation tooling. And then there's another one in Kubernetes contributor site that's also like partially, there are two in Kubernetes contributor site that are like partially started, like halfway done. one regarding ingesting content for the contributor site, and another one for the enhancements and listing them out. I think the person on the enhancement one is out this week. Paris, do you know when they'll be back?
I think next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that one might actually pick up again. But there is at least one in both the Kubernetes org and Kubernetes contributor site that are like, I would say, partially implemented that need to be finished.
Yeah, I'll
Also-
go through that then. Yeah.
Also in the contributor marketing team, we were just discussing how we need to work on some automation to fix our issue with our Twitter repo can't do scheduled tweets. We need to figure out some way to fix that. Just some GitHub action that could hold off on merging merging a PR would work there. We just haven't had time to fix it.
Another one, sort of along the same line that I know we've talked about is
Okay. I'm sorry, I'm gonna need to ask somebody else to pitch in to take notes. The note stock keeps freezing on me and I can't keep up with typing. I think it's actually because the document is like 200 pages long at this point.
I thought we are, let's see.
We have not archived.
January 29th. Oh, so we did it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have not put in any of the last 5 minutes because it can't get the cursor unlocked.
Okay. Either way, another one for the contributor treats one would just be taking Kubernetes dev items and posting them to, like, at least creating the like taking the subject line and creating a tweet with a link for the contributor comms team to approve.
That is a humongous one in my opinion. But yeah, like not everything needs to go on there, but it's like 80% of it, I think. That would, I think, really help the flow of our communications. Because I think it seems like a lot of people are watching Twitter and then a lot of different people are watching KDev. So it seems like I'm watching a neat experience happening.
Okay. So any other sort of questions, comments regarding GitHub automation? Or GitHub Management, I'm sorry. Okay. Slack infra, I don't think there's any updates. That takes us to open mic, and it looks like active contributors owner survey. Paris, this is you, I'm assuming.
Yes. Oh no, I think Debbie was before me.
Deba, sorry.
Yeah, so I guess we discussed on this in the last bi-weekly meeting, but I didn't have the Katacoda scenario running by then. But in the upstream marketing meeting, I had this Katacoda scenario running, and at present, yes, Gaslight, Chris, and they wanted to review it once. So what we decided in the last meeting was we need to go to steering to open a new repository. But what Dims replied is we don't need to go to the steering itself. There is a template in the kits/org repository where we need to open that. But for that, we need an ownership, a SIG ownership for that particular repository to happen. So to give a more context is this repository is will be a author repository for the Katacoda scenarios that we are going to put for the upstream developers. So I just started with a minimalistic one. It's a 2 minutes scenario, which will let you know how to install Kubernetes and how to build it in your local system. So yeah, that's basically focused for upstream developers. So,
okay. Yeah, as far as the new repository and ownership, that would be ContribEx. It'd really just be if it's like there's different stuff regarding if like a repo that you've already created is being imported, or if we're sort of starting from scratch, there's a couple of different things that have to be followed. Both aren't too bad if it's not like, if there's not a lot of stuff in there. But the issue template in Kubernetes org should direct you like with the various things that are needed.
Yes, but also I wanted to know another part is we need to access the Katacoda through this Kubernetes repository. So I don't know if I have the permission to do that. So should I go to GitHub Management, like connect with them to know how to link with it? We need a permission for Katacoda to access that repository.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that would just be another like there's another issue template for integrations in there.
Okay. Yeah.
So sorry, I didn't mean to skip over yours and jump to the. I think I just clicked the other GitHub link. So I think Paris, you're up now.
Yes. So I wanted to see, well, I mean, I guess this is kind of like also a larger question about our survey strategy. I'm glad Josh is on too, so you and Josh can help. So we already did the survey for this year. I'm thinking that we actually need another survey that drills down a little bit more into the folks who have named roles. Because as we're doing sustainability plans and things like that, we have a lot of, things that we want to say, improve, that we need data for, I think. And getting our proposal together, I think, is going to be crucial with having this data. So I wanted to kind of see, like, as far as like when we should do this, how we should do this. I wanted to kind of just start a discussion about this because I think we should do it. But I don't necessarily know. And, just like I said, just want to discuss like the how, when, and who part of it. What do y'all think?
I think it's useful. As far as timeline wise, I think it'd actually be great to, get it out or get it along with the contributor celebration.
Oh, that is a good idea. Yep.
Yeah. The key part will be having a set of explicit goals for the new survey.
Yeah.
Because I think part of the low turnout for the previous contributor survey is it was just sort of a pro forma repeat of the previous year's survey.
Yeah.
And people didn't really see why they should fill it out.
Trends are important, y'all. But anyway, no. All right. So I'll draft something and see what you all think, and please comment. Again, the goals of this are to really get a pulse on folks in named roles. I'm calling them maintainers. That's not what they call them here internally. We call them reviewers, approvers, and sub-project owners. But that's sort of this catch-all thing that I'm a term that I'm using. But trying to get a pulse on these folks, because we can bring in all of the new contributors we want, but at the end of the day, they need to have PRs reviewed and approved, and roadmaps and visions and leadership and guidance and all that kind of thing. So that's where my focus is trying to be and be. So yeah, I would love any insights that y'all have with the questions and how they're worded and things like that to get what we need. I'll do that this week too, and put it on the mailing list, and Josh will share it with you directly, and Bob will share it with you directly.
So I'm not going to let a survey go out without
I know.
editing it.
I can ping like Sophia too.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
So any Any other questions regarding potential survey? Okay, Caslin, contributor celebration.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention it in here. I wasn't sure if we talked about it at all. Planning for that has started. It started, what, Monday? And one other thing I wanted to mention with that was we mentioned that end of year bug bash idea, and I was wondering if we should make that an activity in the contributor celebration, which I meant to mention in that meeting, and then I don't think I did.
I know one of the other things we were talking about was a like big push to get everyone to convert from master to main, because we still have like 250 repos that haven't done it yet. You know, while we can't do KK and like K or all the staging repos, those have to be like really well coordinated with a lot of work. There's the, you know, again, 250 some odd repos that should be fairly easy. So I would love for SIGs to do that. One blocker there is that you have to be a admin of the repo to do that. So the amount of people that do have the sort of power to coordinate, I don't want to say power, I'm sorry, like permissions to do that sort of thing is smaller. But I still think it'd be great if we could say, like, you know, 90% of our repos are now on main by the end of the year.
A lofty goal.
Oh my gosh, are you talking about doing a main party?
Yes.
Yes. That's a good idea.
I'm going to throw in one caution here, which is it might not be realistic to do that push at the same time that we're trying to get everybody to reattribute all their documents.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea too.
I mean, maybe it's, you know, easier to try to do it all at once, but I mean, that's kind of two different areas.
Okay. Yeah, because it would sort of be a lot of the same people too, because it's the admins.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking the community meeting, et cetera, all of the Kubernetes dev ownership has been a major blocker.
Yeah.
So my thought would be we try to get that done before the end of the year, and then into master actually first quarter next year.
Maybe for part of this like bug bash type-ish thing, we just list it as a potential item people could put on there.
That'd be cool.
So not necessarily encourage it.
Yeah.
But have it on there as like, hey, this is, you know, yeah.
When anybody's got a sub project that has like 4 contributors, it's honestly very easy to do. It's the repos that have dependencies and, you know, have submodule links to other repos that are going to be truly painful.
And any of that wonderful bash that tends to, like, you know, do some scripting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I think that outside of master main and some of the other stuff we talked about, was there any other potential items for the bug bash? Are you thinking punt that discussion for later, or is just kind of like?
I kind of just wanted to make sure that it was a good idea to make that part of the contributor celebration, and if we should push that.
Yes.
As we're planning that. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So in the next contributor celebration meeting, we'll discuss that more.
Okay. And then Josh, archiving the notes.
Just for the record here, because I don't think anybody really needs to discuss it, which is that I'd like to go ahead and take everything honestly before this month and move it to an archive document, which will make it actually easier to take and browse notes for the current meeting.
Yep.
Do it. I bet you somebody on this line needs a PR though.
Yeah, I'll follow up on Slack and see, you know, how we move stuff.
Oh, there's
a
a
document
little
that's owned.
So as far as archiving goes, it's really easy. There is like a little plugin that will convert it all to Markdown. little Google Docs plugin that will do it.
Okay. We don't need to do this over the meeting.
Yeah.
Tell me in Slack.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh crap, we're over time. I didn't realize that.
Yep.
Oh, shoot, we
Okay.
are.
Yep. I gotta jump to my next one. So I will thanks all.
Yep.
Thank
Hey,
you.
everyone.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.